Hey guys, Anthem here, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. And today I'm going to be doing another video where I try and stress test Minecraft in random ways, and as it does say in the title of the video, I am going to be using the whole 64 gigabytes of RAM thing again, but I wanted to address something on that in regards to some of the comments I've gotten in the previous videos for this series. And it seems like a lot of the Minecraft community that are subscribed to my channel have been really getting their panties in a wad lately about me titling the video in that way. Citing that, you shouldn't be like telling everyone you got 64 gigs of RAM. We get it, okay? Oh my god. And I'm just here to tell you guys that, like, it doesn't matter if you are gonna get your panties in a wad about how I'm titling a video to try and entertain people, but this is my job to entertain in, unique ways that I can think of. And this is just one way that I want to do it. So if you want to think of it in any other sort of light, like it's just me stress testing Minecraft, because ultimately that's all this is. It's just I like the way of titling it with 64 gigabytes of RAM. So if you guys still have a problem with that, then feel free to use the exit button, also known as the unsubscribe button. For the rest of you who are here to just see some interesting content, let's go ahead and let's press forward. So anyways, the test that I have up on the chopping block here is to test out to see the effects of having an infinite world of just falling sand. This was probably the most popular suggestion in the previous video. If you guys have any other suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments section down below, because I am more than open to hearing any and all suggestions you guys have. So anyways, I do have 48 gigabytes of RAM dedicated to Minecraft for this test, though the RAM itself doesn't have much to do with the actual frame rate. It just more or less has to do with the longevity and how long it'll, go before you wind up crashing. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's fire up these worlds. So what I've actually done is I've set up the worlds to spawn like this, where there's like a layer of sand, then a certain amount of layers of air, and then obviously bedrock on the bottom. So if you go ahead and you see how I actually worded this here, you can see it says 1 sand, 1 air. That's because this has 1 layer of sand, 1 layer of air. So 1, 10, 5, 1, 5, 10. So we'll go ahead and we'll test these out and see what happens as we load up the world and as we punch our way through the sand and whatnot. So if I actually teleport down here, I think if I do TP at P, at P and then tilde -1 tilde, it'll actually put me into the sand. And if I go ahead and I go into, game mode 3 here, where I can actually do F3 and N now, you can see that there is the layer of sand with the layer of air going on here. So I need to remember F3N. Is that actually it? Yeah, it actually allows me to update my game mode. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's punch out the ground here and let's see what happens. So obviously, as you guys might expect, this is not really that intensive on my system. I don't think this sort of test would be that intensive on many systems at all. The entity count is a little bit high on the world, but it's not that high. And it would be a good idea for me to run this game rule. So game rule do tile, do tile drops false. So I'm probably going to go ahead and copy that command so I can do it in the future for the other maps, because, yeah, the entity drops are going to get a little bit intense and it's going to be kind of a mess. So anyways, yeah, as you can see, the sand itself is falling, and I don't think there's much more to say about it other than that. Though I do want to show off this really cool effect where if I get too far away, it's actually going to cause some weird distortions. It might not cause it with this height, but it should cause it with the next world. So when you wind up actually, see, you can kind of see it going on here. When you wind up getting outside of the boundaries of the sand movement, it'll it won't, the sand will never land, except it's weird. Like, the sand will never land, but when you wind up back in the chunk area, as you can see, I'm slowly getting back into this chunk area here. You can actually see that the sand will start landing again. So, pretty interesting. So anyways, let's go ahead and so obviously that, test was really not too much on the computer at all. Let's go ahead and let's try the 1 sand, 10 air trick. And the reason why I think this one will be a lot more intensive is because the sand will be falling for longer, and therefore more entities will wind up loading up. So that's why I think this is going to wind up being a lot more intensive. So let's see here. Yeah, a little bit. My frame rate has dropped to about 15. Okay, so you can definitely tell there's something going on here with the frame rate. Like, it's tanking pretty hard. But I think if I stay in the middle long enough, my frame rate will eventually catch back up. You can see it's 11, and it might get worse before it gets better, but by the time the sand starts loading off screen, my frame rate will start going back up. It's just going to take a little bit before that starts happening. So we're at 7, 9 frames. If I look down, it's, 20, 30, And yeah, as long as it's still within the render distance, which I do believe my render settings are set to 16 chunks, yeah, it's going to be kind of low. But if I hit escape, you can see my frame rate goes back up to 100. So as long as nothing is generating, then all is hunky-dory. So anyways, I'm really interested to do the multi-sand tests because things actually get really, really intense at that point. Oh yeah, you can actually see like the way things the sand loads as you get closer to it is definitely a lot more derpy and a lot more noticeable. So like you can see it like directly in front of me here, but you can't see it off to the sides and whatnot. So anyways, let's go and let's check out. Oh, you can see there's some derp going on here. There's all kinds of derp just going on here. So if you want to try and create some really interesting sand effects using this technique where like you have a piece of sand falling, but you're outside of the chunk, like, I don't know, like, see what you can come up with, because, again, like, it's pretty much whenever you are not in the chunk is when the sand itself will not land, but when you're inside of the chunk, it will land. I'd probably recommend doing this on game mode 3 and, like, setting your flight speed to be a lot faster, so, like, by scrolling up and whatnot, you can fly a lot faster, so you can actually manipulate it a lot better. So, anyways, let's just kind of see what we can do here. Hopefully, yep, you can see. Like, if we just go ahead and we fly back and forth here, I'm going to create a, kind of an interesting pattern. I've done this before. What I do is I fly out until I reach, like, that point right there, where I reach the point where, the sand is, like, on the ground, and you can tell that it never landed. So I just kind of fly back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and before too long, it actually creates a fairly interesting shape. So let's go and let's do that. Bang. Just go back and forth, and then we'll go ahead and we'll check it out, just for the fun of it. Because the next few tests, I won't get much of a frame rate at all. Oh my god. Okay, that actually did some really neat stuff. So, okay, you can really see the neatness that is going on here. So, anyways, so now the frame rate's pretty much stabilized at this point. Now that we've gotten to this point, we could probably, stand underneath this and whatnot and not even worry about a thing. The frame rate does tank a little bit down to like 50-ish, so it's definitely a little bit intense on the system. But yeah, now we're going to go ahead and we are going to test this out with 5 sand and 1 air. Now, if you guys thought that the last test was intense, well, you haven't seen much yet. So let's go and let's go to game mode 3 here, just so you guys can see what's going on here. So you can see there's only 1 layer of air, but there's 5 layers of sand. So technically speaking, this should be about 5 like squared times more intensive than the second test. So, or than the first test rather. So let's go and let's do this. 2, 3, 4, and there we go. It is now falling. Let's go and let's hit F3 here. And let's see, am I going to actually start lagging? I'm actually kind of curious if this is going to be more intensive than the last test or not. Because obviously the sand itself had a much longer distance to fall in the previous test, but there was obviously much less sand. And it seems as if it's not being too temperamental at all. So, the fact that all of the sand has to drop down, like, 5 layers of sand have to drop down, it's not really being too intensive on the system at all. So I'm pretty happy for that. Yeah, again, the RAM usage is not going too high, but you can tell, like, I mean, I have 48 allocated and it's using just 4 just out of the blue. So there's that. And if I did like do more intensive tests, obviously that's when the RAM usage is going to go up a lot higher. So RAM is not really required for this test, upwards of 8 gigabytes dedicated, which is still a fair amount to just dedicate to just Minecraft. But anyways, okay, so it doesn't look like this test is going to be anything too intensive. What I am kind of curious about is with multiple layers of sand, I've actually not tested this yet. What happens with the whole sand pattern, because I haven't tested that yet. So let's see. Oh my god, is it just oh, wow. That is really interesting, actually. So, okay, did I run the tile drops thing? I think I did, but it's apparently doesn't work for this scenario. But anyway, so as it winds up getting further and further out of the chunk, like, the different layers wind up stacking up in really cool ways. So, yeah, I'm sure if I go over here now, you're going to see it, like, just like this. Well, this one's a little more like a wall. But maybe if I, like, sort of inch in and out of the chunk, just kind of like this, like, sort of fly back and forth, it might actually create some really interesting shapes. So that's kind of what I'm going to do here for just a second, because again, I haven't tested this specifically like this yet, so it's kind of cool. So anyways, let's see here. Let's see what kind of weirdness we have done. So yeah, this is the weirdness that we have done here. Not particularly useful in any way, shape, or form. And yeah, but it's kind of funny nonetheless. But anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a quick game rule. Or no, not game rule. I'm going to run a quick kill command. So kill at E type equals falling, I think it's falling block or falling entity. Might be just falling entity. So falling entity, and let's see if we can stop this. Maybe, okay, you know what? Let's just do type equals not player, and that'll probably work. Okay, bam! We have killed the falling blocks, except it's not working at all. Yeah, this doesn't actually kill anything. It just kills the blocks that are falling, but the block updates are still being triggered, so this is not stopping anything at all. So I just wanted to see, just for the heck of it, to see what happens. Oh, baby, this is an interesting bit of terrain, I guess, just because there's more of an open space here. So, yeah. Alright, so for the last test, it's going to be our true lagometer test. We are going to load up the 5 sand, 10 air world. This one should really, really cause a couple of hiccups in the game. Let's go and let's run that game roll one more time, even though I don't think it's doing anything. TP, and then tilde negative, what, 11? No, tilde negative 7, and then tilde. So let's go and let's run that. And now we are underneath this giant sand pile here. This is where things are really going to start lagging. I'm actually going to prep this command right here just in case things get really super terrible so that I can teleport myself super up. So let's go and let's do this here. F3 and yep. Frame rate is gone. Let's go and let's teleport. Okay, come on. Gimme my command. Give me my command. I'm trying to paste it in. I'm trying to paste it in right now. It's not working. Oh, there we go. Okay, is that it? Is that it? Okay, can I go? Can I go? 0 frames a second. Okay. Yep. This world no longer likes me at all. I'm at a frame per second. If I go ahead and I hit escape, I think at this height I might, I regain my frame rate. So at the very least, I don't have to worry about this recording crashing. But yeah, you don't want to run a world like this, guys. I'm just saying. Let's see if the RAM usage actually goes any higher. It doesn't seem like it is. I'm just curious, like if it was going to go up to 4,000, but it doesn't. Yeah, again, this compared to the other tests is not doing like anything to the RAM at all. Like, I mean, sure, it does spike up a little bit, but not like nearly as hard as before. So anyways, I don't actually think this world will ever get to the point where it's going to have a usable frame rate again. I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe. Like if I keep, because whenever I hit escape, the frame rate comes back and it you know, properly calculates everything out. But I do think it would take quite a while for this world to actually get anywhere where the frame rate would be like normal and like doable. But you can see every time I hit escape, it does update a little bit, but it's very, very intense. Like very intense. Okay, anyways, yeah, this is just updating. Like, I think we can pretty much suspect what's going to happen with this world at this point. Like, it's just, I'm just going to have to do this until it eventually loads out to the chunk limit. Let me go ahead and let me actually turn my chunk render distance down and see if that helps at all. 143 FPS, okay, so none of it is loading right now. I'm just trying to slowly bring myself to the ground here. You can probably see the y-axis is going down. And I just want to see when it starts lagging, and I just want to see if, okay, here we go. So yeah, it does actually look like it'll get to the point where things will just, you know, things will be loading properly. Let me go and let me try and get to the border here of wherever this is. So yeah, okay, you can actually get to a point where you'll have a usable frame rate. Now, I don't know if if I turn my chunk super up or anything, if that'll really kill it, but at least I know that I can, like, you know, actually watch this. So yeah, if I turn my frame rate, or if I turn my render distance up to 7, then this world, it doesn't like it too much, but I am at 16 frames a second, so not overly horrible, though you can see there's some rendering bugs going on here and there. But yeah, I mean, you know, having the render distance set up to 7 does kind of work. So yeah, you can see we can see everything underneath us here. It's kind of a weird point of view seeing this whole thing fall like this. It's just like wet. I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting. But anyways, guys, this was pretty much recommended by you guys kind of unanimously in the previous video just to see how falling sand tests would affect Minecraft. If you guys have any other suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. But yeah, anyways, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there is some really interesting tests that we can do. I might try and like blow up obsidian or something like that, which really would be more of like straight stress testing and have really absolutely nothing to do with RAM usage. But I don't know. If you guys have anything to suggest for breaking Minecraft, let me know in the comment section down below, guys. But anyways, I hope you all have enjoyed. My name is Ant Venom, and I bid you all farewell, and the sand bids you all farewell as well. Well, thanks so much for watching.